Hey guys, we're going to take a look at Ryobi's P3240 3-gallon wet dry vac. It runs off their 18-volt batteries. Any of the 1+ battery line will work. Obviously it's going to do better with the bigger capacity ones just because it's going to be a little bit of a power-hungry tool. So let's take a closer look and see this thing in action. Alright, here's this thing close up. You've got your battery spot right here. The 4 amp hour sits flush. Just a note, the 6 amp hour sticks up a tiny bit, a little bit unfortunate. So if you're going to put something on top of here, this part's flat, but the 6 amp hour is not. So if you want to stack stuff on here, you're going to have to go with a 4 amp hour or smaller. The hose is actually a really nice hose. It clicks into place. It's got a swivel right here, and it's pretty flexible. It's got a good extension. It reaches up to 6 feet. And you can see it's clear when you pull it out, and the reinforcement ribbing spreads out a little bit. You can see what's in the hose. You can see if you've got a blockage. All right, emptying this out is pretty straightforward. You just got to undo these latches on the front and the back and pick up the top. And there you go. You've got a filter you can twist out and remove. And you can shake that out and reuse it. You might actually be able to wash this out. I'm not sure if it's a washable filter. Yes, it is. It says washable right here. Wet dry filter. Alright, you can see the underside of this has a gasket that will keep your water in, and it also has a float shut off. Whenever this gets high enough, it will stop your blower from pulling any more water in here, which would suck it up into the motor. One thing to note, since this is a wide and shallow shop vac, you won't be able to get the full 3 gallons of water into this because this will shut off earlier. If you've got a taller, narrower one like the Rigid, you'll be able to pull more water into it because it's using that space more efficiently. As far as onboard storage goes, you've got your utility nozzle right here, and you've got your crevice tool over here. They clip in fairly securely, this one more so than the utility nozzle, but actually I went to grab this the other day and didn't realize I wasn't looking. I just kind of reached around the side of the tool and grabbed it, and the holder came off. So this isn't very securely attached, and the spring force on these isn't actually that great either. This might break eventually, and then I'm stuck without a place to store this nozzle. Not terribly impressed with the onboard storage. They are tucked out of the way, which is nice. It's just I'm not sure how well this is going to last over the years. You can see that was pretty easy to pull that back off. One thing I don't like about this nozzle, and I'll show you in a little bit in the video, is the way it's designed. There's a spot back here in the back that can catch stuff, and it actually collects a lot of debris in there. If you're using coarse sawdust, I had this jam up on me quite a few times. The on-off switch is right here. I did have one issue once where I was using this thing and I had it on, and I swiveled the hose around and actually bumped it off with the hose. It would have been nicer if it was over here, I think, but either way, it's not a big deal. I thought the battery had run out, actually, and I just bumped it off. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's a little bit in the way right here. One other aspect of this thing, it seems a little bit like an afterthought. It does have a blower port. I don't think I'll ever use this for a blower because I have so many little shop blowers. But what you do is you take the nozzle tool and you slide it down in here, and then you take this little bayonet adapter and unclick it, and then you've got a blower. Not the best execution because you get a lot of loss right here. It's not an airtight seal. There's no gasket there. You can use it as a blower if you absolutely have to. I don't think I ever will, though. was conveniently timed. No, I turned it off. So I found out I need to lift my shop vac higher because it can pull water from this bucket all the way down there. That's actually pretty impressive. Alright, for the car, you can see this picked up the majority of things. I had to go back and forth over it a couple times to try to get everything, but it performed just about as good as a corded shop vac, and it's much easier to take this out to the car instead of running an extension cord all the way out there. So I really, really like this for that application. I'll probably vacuum out my car much more often than I used to now that I have this shop vac. Alright, runtime with a 4 amp hour battery, I got a runtime of just under 16 minutes. It was 15 minutes and 48 seconds. So with a 6 amp hour battery, I would expect to get 50% more of that. So that would be 24 minutes on a 6 amp hour battery. That's not a great runtime, but it's a pretty decent one. I did have more than enough time to vacuum out my whole car on just one 4 amp hour battery. Alright, so let's talk price point. At $89 bare tool, it's a pretty decent deal, but it's not a great one. A lot of the other brands like Milwaukee, Rigid, DeWalt, they've got their 2 or 3 gallon shop vacs in the $99 price range, which is pretty comparable to $90 for this one. This one does have a few features I don't like about it. The performance specs are about the same, but it's not going to have as good of a build quality and quite as good of a warranty. So if you're in just the Ryobi 18 volt system and you want something smaller than their 6 gallon brushless shop vac, which is only $99, yes, I would buy this again, but if you're in more than one battery platform, I might take a look at the competitors. Now, if you're just looking for a shop vac and you don't have any shop vac at all, I've got a corded one that I use plugged in with my power tools. This one I wanted for the convenience of picking up, carrying, not worrying about a big hose or a bunch of accessories banging around, getting in the way of thresholds when I try to pick it up over a doorway. This thing works great for that, but if you don't have any shop vac and you're looking to go cordless, that $99 brushless one, it's just $10 more than this one. It's going to have better power, better runtime, and a bigger capacity. I'd take a much closer look at that one over this one because a $10 bump in price point for double the capacity and a brushless motor, that's a great deal on the $99 shop vac. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and once again, don't forget to subscribe.